Hi, this is John again for Outstanding Poker, and I'm here with part 6 of this Back to Basics series. And this part 6 is going to focus on value betting and also stack to pot ratios. Firstly, I'm going to look at value betting monster hands. Obviously, we've seen from the Atta22 vids that he doesn't like slow playing at all, and you really shouldn't slow play ever, especially at the micro stakes where people are just calling down super light. As soon as you get a big hand, you should be looking to bet it. I've just seen this happen quite a lot of times when you play micro stakes, where you're up against some guy who's out of position and he checks to you on all three streets, and then when you get to showdown, you see that he's actually been sat there with a set and he's just been waiting to check raise you on all three streets. And so basically, he's just flopped an absolute monster and got zero value for it. And this is just, I think it's just totally criminal. And it's impossible to have a win rate if you're not even going to bet your monster hands. So obviously, if you're not betting your big made hands, you're just going to have a poor win rate. In fact, you'll just be losing. You won't be able to get a win rate. Because how else are you supposed to win money if you don't actually bet when you have the best hand? But anyway, so another bad thing about slow playing is obviously it lets other hands overtake. So, for instance, that guy who checked all three streets to trap with his set, and then, let's say, I hit a runner backdoor straight and decide to bet it, and the next minute he's check raising me and he's actually got the worst hand now, and then actually loses 100 big blinds just from slow playing, and he should have just taken the money that were there on the flop. So yeah, it's a super simple concept that quite a lot of the players at micro stakes continue to get wrong. And as you've seen from Hockey Guys videos, Atta videos, you get a big hand and you just bet it, and if they have a piece of it, they're gonna come along with you and pay you off big style. And if they fold, it's no big deal. Just wait for the next opportunity and bet it again, and eventually you'll start getting paid off. If you're going through a bit of a downswing and stuff like that, it might seem a while until you get paid off, but you just got to keep at it and keep believing. So yeah, once we flop a big hand and have decided that we're going to be committing to our hand and just want to get, our first thought should be to think of the best and quickest possible way of getting the money in without obviously scaring away our customer. So we need to start planning a bet sizing for each street to make sure we don't leave perhaps too big a bet for the river. Obviously against some player types who are just going to call down big bets or even over bets, then it doesn't matter too much, but it is better to be planning your bet sizing on all three streets. So the way that I like to plan it is by using stack to pot ratios, and here's how you calculate the stack to pot ratio. We use the pot size after all the pre-flop action and divide this by the effective stack. So in theory you'll have a different stack to pot ratio versus all the different players at the table. So here's an example. A player raises 3 big blinds pre-flop and there's one call, or we call. So the pot is now 6 big blinds and the villain only has 60 big blinds left in his stack. You divide the 60 big blinds by the pot size of 6 and you get 10. So this is the actual stacked pot ratio. Now once you've got the stacked pot ratio, you can figure out some easy bet sizing to get all your money in, and I've got like a bit of a guide here. So like it says, once we've decided to commit, let's say we've got pocket aces on a king high dry board, and we know that if our opponent has hit the king, he's going to be stacking off 100 big blinds. So here, as you can see, if there's a stack to pot ratio of 13, you can bet pot on flop turn river, and I've got a quick example here. So I'll just pause the video while I bring up this example. So as you can see from this in Notepad, look at this bit here. This is the stack to pot ratio of 13, and this is the chunking option of how we can do his bet sizing. And if you bet pot, 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 you should be getting all the money in. And here's the example. Let's say we've raised pre-flop to $3 and we've got one caller. So now I'm just ignore the blinds for this